Good morning, everyone. I do apologize for waiting. Um, Today is August 15th, 2024, and the time is 10:19 a.m. This meeting of the Animal Control Board called to order. I will begin by calling a roll call of the board members. Mayor, Veronica Johns,
Present.
present. Officer Edwards. Present, Officer Joe Wolfen. Present, and present myself. Also in attendance today, we have Associate City Solicitor Robert Schuchuk, Renee Robichaud, and Heather Callahan. There are 10 items on the agenda for today. The meeting will run accordingly. The complainants will be given 10 minutes for presentation of their case. This is a shared 10 minutes, so if you have someone that will be testifying with you, it's 5 minutes each. Question by members of the Animal Control Board shall be made only after each proponent has spoken. The respondent will be given 10 minutes for presentation of the opposition. Question of the members of the Animal Control Board shall be made only after each respondent has spoken. After the complainants and the respondent have completed their argument, each side will be allowed 5 minutes in rebuttal time in the same order as above, here 5 minutes. Is everyone here for the testimony? Can everyone raise their right hands, please? We declare and affirm that the evidence that you are about to give is the truth and the whole truth. Yes. Put your hands out, please. I will call the first item on the agenda today, and it is the July 18 minutes. I'd like to motion with you, right? Okay. And I'll second that motion.
There are two votes from the previous meeting that said I voted yes to accept the prior.
And roll call and the motion, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes. Board Member Laundrie.
Yes.
Yes, Board Wilson.
Yes.
Yes, Board Johns.
Yes.
Yes, myself, Camille. Amendments of the minutes was approved. The second item on the agenda today is a continuation from the last meeting. It was a dangerous dog hearing for 2 dogs at 90 I Street. It was managed, it's an apartment managed by Alison Bonner, and it was the owner of the dog, Francesca. And it was requested by, Paula Stearns from Youth Education. Paula is not here today. And I did not get a phone call. So we'll hear from detail. I'm sorry. Before we hear from TJ, the board voted to continue. If there was any other incidents.
So
Oh, yes, you can come forward, Francesca. Please.
This was a continuation after we were given the information for the owner of one of the 2 dogs that had been photographed. We were able to send the notice to the owner. So we received one photo of a pit bull type dog being walked off leash in the vicinity of the George Educational Success Academy. The photo. So she's being held by the collar at this point. So then I'm able to identify.
Yeah, so that's not heard about, that's heard of.
Okay. It doesn't, live with-
No, the longest time is right now in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
She comes here on vacation. She was working, she was big and she was taking back. Y señora persona, pero la pasión de was out of reach. Pero después la señora vino con nosotros. And then she came and she apologized. But she said que equivocado, because she missed this, like a misunderstanding.
Okay.
And then see, and like, it was living there for 5 years. She never had.
But the dog doesn't live there anymore. She doesn't live with you.
No,
We didn't live there.
no,
Okay, so we have what, 27?
no. She said, "Sorry,
There's been information. It's everybody looks. Springfield, dog that, he kind of off to the farm, let me not invite the dog farm. So having the dog out and over the car, so that qualified. Border patrol, so that qualified. Anytime your dog is off your property, it has to be unleashed. Just, you know. As far as you have an animal, it might be a problem, extra resident, because it's a packable dog, dog, babysit, what have you. You take responsibility for the dog. So it's just one of those things that everybody is doing right now. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time.
And yeah, I need to go roll call. Counselor Edwards,
Yes.
yes, for, Dr. Wilson. For laundry,
Yeah.
yes, Camille, yes,
Yes,
for John's. Motion passed. The third item on the agenda is the dog hearing for a dog related media at 64 California Avenue on by Peter Palucci. This also is, continued from the last meeting. Mr. Paul Peter. Please.
So we received no additional complaints and I believe we were going to license. Yeah. Today.
Yeah, I thought I got the rabies thing, so I thought that was tag it, put it on it, but it was actually, you know what I mean, for the vet.
Yeah.
So I got this.
Yeah, we haven't had any additional complaints. I haven't heard from Ernie, regarding the dog being required.
So is the motion to the floor?
No, fine.
Okay.
Second.
And, roll call. Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
For those, I mean.
Yes.
For laundry?
Yeah.
For Johns
yes,
and Camille also, yes, on both items. Mr. Palucci?
I'm done.
Just make sure you get the dog license.
Right now.
Yeah, there.
I looked at the license, but just don't purchase.
Oh, yeah.
I talked to there.
You can get them parking, let us know.
Item number 4 is the dangerous dog hearing for 2 dogs at 373 Oak Street, owned by Papico Maldonado. And this was requested by Michael Toot. And this is a requested continuation, so this will be the first time we actually. Mr. Toot?
One is going to be here, that unit, the certified letter claims that that unit is taken. Not heard from Mr. Chiquette.
if the issue resolved itself, they probably.
Their motion or
No.
Second. He just wants to you.
the no filing is Copeland Edwards
Yes.
and the no filing officer Mosley,
Yes.
Board Landry. Board Johns
Yes.
and Camilla, yes. Is approved. Item number 5 is a mixing dog game for 2 dogs at 98 Garnet Street, owned by Gary Fournier, and this was requested by Michelle Bennett. Also, this was continued on the previous meeting, and it was the first time there. Michelle? Okay, I need to pick Michelle.
Yeah, this better, you do it here. The better you sit over here. Come around.
I saw wires.
Okay. CJ?
We have, TGF has 3 confirmed reports of these dogs being walked off leash by you're not the owner of the dogs, though. Are you the owner of the dog? You're just.
It's really my daughter, so I, we
live with you?
take it every day.
Okay. So these dogs have been historically walked off leash in the conservation area at the end of Hampton Drive. And identity of the dogs, and their owner were confirmed by the police ran the plates for the car that was associated with the dogs. These are some photos that were of the dogs being walked off the leash. All 3, Ryan, you should have that in your packet. Okay. All 3 instances, the main part of the concern is really that the dogs tend to brush up to passerbys and other people walking their animals on leash in an aggressive manner.
Thank you very much. So I wanted to elaborate on saying that not an individual who's experienced with dogs and he's lived right. In fact, I have about 15 years of experience as animal welfare volunteer. I volunteered for over a decade racing retired racing greyhounds, and during my tenure at the time, I was the person within the group that was consulted whenever there was a contact return after an incident. We would try to get a handle on whether the dog was safe to be replaced, etc. I currently volunteer as a foster caregiver for David, and I'm cleared for what they call orange dogs, which means just the easy beginner dogs with behavioral issues. And as TJ has stated, this is a long-standing pattern of irresponsible behavior by the handler. And I've been able to observe over a period of years now the dog's behavior becoming more and more aggressive every time it charges. And often the dog seemingly comes out of nowhere because the human is so far away from where the dog is. There's absolutely no warning. Suddenly there's just this, I guess about 85-pound dog running toward, at a full gallop with the teeth bared and barking and growling and coming much too close for comfort. My dogs are always on leash without exception. And it's frightening to me. And as I said, I'm not easily frightened by dogs. And there's literally nothing that I can do in that situation because I'm busy managing my own dogs to make sure that they stay close and safe. And it's disappointing that I have to ask for the community to take action simply because the human refuses to follow what is a city ordinance that's been reiterated to him repeatedly. But I keeping dogs in a highly populated area is a privilege, a right, and with that privilege comes responsibilities. And this person has repeatedly
fail to live up to those responsibilities. And so I'm asking this committee to limit those privileges to keep everyone safe. Not just the humans and their dogs, but also in the conservation area where I've had these repeated incidents. There are at least 2 different species of endangered turtles. They're all wild turkey, there are deer, there are coyotes. I have never actually seen a bear. However, I have seen their scat. My neighbors have confirmed that we do have bears in that area. It's just irresponsible for anyone to allow their dogs to run free in that area. And on multiple levels. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay, since you give your background, I'm an officer, I've been an officer, I have under my control 243 dogs in Penny, Georgia. I have taken over two shepherds to the year with dogs. I have a background with dogs. Young lady works with her dogs, 4 or 5 of them on a leash at a time, 2 greyhound, a pit bull, a husky, and a mixed one. Her pit bull is as aggressive as our dog. We come around the corner, we see each other, the dogs get acted up. I wanted to go back, put them on a leash and go. The dogs are off the leash absolutely. We've walked out in that area for 30 years. At a time, 9 people, 14 dogs together walking, 3 all through that area. No one just, so she starts the dog walking business. So that, yes, they were off the leash.
We haven't been further.
No, it's, I only own 2 greyhounds. I mean, he might have seen me with other dogs over, but as I said, it's been multiple incidents, so.
So do you have anything further to say to you, Lord?
Pardon me?
Would you like to say anything further for your rebuttal?
Okay.
Did you?
Just, the dogs be leashed when they're being walked. Just city ordinance, they've been warned on multiple occasions that the dogs should be leashed.
But Attorney Shuster.
Yes,
The appropriateness of how we rule in terms of this case, because nobody, but yet it is a violation of ordinances. They are aware of violation. Is it within us to simply allow for this to be an official warning of what can happen and with an explanation of the designation of a nuisance dog? Can you give me?
I'm gonna come in. You're breaking up. I'm gonna come in real quick. I can't really hear your full statement. I'll be right there. Sorry.
That's okay. That's why I rushed down.
If I can interrupt the question, I know you said something about dog parks.
We don't have one in Springfield, but we're in the process of trying to put one in place.
So there's an issue that there's some dogs that go to dog parks that are not controlled. And these dogs just they're walk out in the woods and it has been as you said for 30 years.
The problem with the exception, in respect to the appreciation services, that while we have a high degree of control of the life experience working with dogs.
Correct.
You can't make exceptions when it comes to law to the person who doesn't have that experience, that also have the same right to what he does without that right experience. And the other thing is that he's not the one who always is walking in the woods, having freedom to run. So when you think of law, yeah, some people are smart enough, as my mother told me as a child, stop signs for people who are stupid, need to stop. Okay, so you have to put signs up, more rules, so the people don't have control of the dog. These are the parameters in which we operate. So what I'm asking.
Simply say that the ordinance says the dogs are to leash at all times. The dogs are to leash at all times. It's that simple.
Yeah, so it's that we can't make exceptions to the quality of his very much experience compared to the next door neighbor who's had his first time with the dog. It's a pound dog, and he wants to do it, runs up on somebody. They break brains will try to run the dog. You get bit by the dog, whatever. So that's the meaning of the law. But my question to you. Do we necessarily have to have the dog being a nuisance in order to?
Yeah, it must be the nuisance for, um, any order, yeah.
Any official.
Yes.
warning, you have these being the dog nuisance.
Yes, correct.
and Under the nuisance designation.
And then you can pick any of the, I think there's 9, or, conditions that can be ordered, one of them being a catch-all, but I think the other one of them is that's leash, but correct. Yeah, yeah,
So it's just satisfied, they're already, the ordinance, they are.
yeah, basically, follow the ordinances that's for a reason, for the safety of the public, the dogs and your own dog. Whether get by a car or attack on the, there's a reason why ordinances are there. They should be followed.
That's a question, not as big. We're gonna allow you to have a question and not a debate.
It's more of an observation, I guess, someone who claims to have the level of experience that he does.
No.
Does not have not the same level of control that I have witnessed.
Yeah, well, let's say that's the thing, the hearing's closed, we try to close the hearing, so that it's not a back and forth. So, but if it was a question, then you.
Well, I guess I'm wondering if his level of responsibility is higher based on his claimed expertise.
It's long, the point is, it's simply, that's why I made the explanation, regardless of the life experience of control, like you have, what you have, doesn't change, but Attorney Shusha just said, law is law, and so we will apply the law appropriately.
I'll be watching, but.
The dog, I know there are fewer dogs, they're your daughters, do they reside in Springfield?
Yes.
And are they licensed?
Yes.
Obviously, you're not licensed, so I had a way to check that.
Dog also has a shot collar on it, so we get the body back.
Ma'am,
So. I'm open to be down with that.
I'll make a motion.
On the motion to be without nuisance.
Yes.
Yes. After Rosen?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Tomato. Yes. For Jones?
Yes,
Yes. Motion passed on the conditions.
Yeah, the catch-all, just.
And you're strange in the.
The last part you just said,
Subsection
subsection A, I'll make that motion.
A.
On the motion to have the dog humanely restrained. Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Rosen?
Yes.
Yes. For laundry?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. For Jones?
yes,
The motion to have the dog humanely restrained. As approved. That's.
You said written notice. Correct.
Yes.
Long leash. Yes, leash. Thank you.
It's great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your.
Very much. You're welcome.
I didn't remember that then. We have a dangerous dog hearing for dog named Scobie at 46 Cannon Circle, owned by Mr. Lazada. This was a request by PJ for non-compliance, and it's also a continuation from the last meeting.
This is a complaint.
I don't know if the owner is here.
Okay.
We've received no additional complaints. We've received no additional complaints of the dog being off leash. So at this time, I don't have anything further.
Continue without finding.
Can we do that?
Attorney Stuchek,
Really just stood up.
okay, I'm gonna make a motion, we continue without finding if it's not appropriate to address it.
Was Ace and Cody skipped? Was Ace and Cody skipped? I thought that was next on the, agenda.
Oh, they might have been.
Oh,
Yeah, something six, so I think, was there a question for me?
Can we continue without finding? Is that like a,
Is that an option?
No, you either make. a
Dismiss
decision
it
whether it's Nuisance or dangerous, or you. Mind, yes.
Okay, motion is, okay,
No, finding.
I'll second that motion.
I'll let you.
Okay.
On the motion. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, Woodbury. Yes. Yes, Camille. Yes, Bojangles.
yes,
No comments. Pass. Now here, item number 8, that is, I'll skip 6. Yes.
That's.
Thank you. Yeah, but, item number 6 is a nuisance dog hearing in, named Ace and Cody at 27 Equal Street by Francesca Garcia. It was requested by TJ Overland Fertilizer.
anyone here for 27 Hickory Street? So. The basically redeemed nuisance on January 16th, 2024, in order to mainly restrain or that a secure enclosure be constructed. And that's how the letter is written. They have been confirmed either loose or physically impounded to the shelter in February 11th, May 4th, and May 31st. Since the most recent time they were at the shelter, we had no further instances. So I'm hoping that got through to them, but we were looking to consider possibly amending the previous order. Because when you put or in an order, they only have to do one order there, so they've never built a security.
Are they the property owners on this?
I don't, I don't know if he's, no. I mean, it's a single family residence with a fenced yard. But I don't know if they own it or if it's rental property.
What's their address? I can look it up right now.
27 Hickory Street.
Hold on.
Thank you.
You're a little too quick. Well, let me get GIS up.
You don't have it just bookmarked on your.
It's what's the address? I'm sorry.
27 Hickory Street.
7 Hickory. That's owned by, yeah, no, it's not owned by them. It's owned by Lopez Eisender Lopez. So the ordering them to make a secure enclosure it's a little tough when they're not the property owner.
That's what they've been doing. So they've been tethering them in the backyard, and I think whichever one the husky breaks loose and then the shepherd follows. And they're literally like dragging their leads, whatever. I mean, like one time she said it was literally ripped completely out of the ground. So like, I mean, but they haven't been loose for 2.5 months, which might be a record. For that we know about, so. Yeah, it's a difficult situation with the own properties. So a secure enclosure may not be possible, but the effort was made.
I mean, there's also a catch-all where if they're outside, they have to be secured by a leash or something, because it doesn't seem like they're they're not being watched. It seems like they're escaping. The person lets them out in the yard, and then just goes back on with their day, and then the dogs escape the second he or she puts her, stops paying attention. So you guys can, I don't know, come up with something. I can't come up with anything. I'm just the attorney, but the committee can try to come up with something to prevent these dogs from escaping.
Yeah.
Nothing further from me.
Back to your measure. How does the city, how does the municipality craft law that addresses this issue when your responsibility to fulfill the obligations of law conflict with the fact that you are a renter, and as a renter, there's things that I can't do to my house that I can do as a homeowner. And so, in fact, I can't legally install a ceiling fan in my rental unit. In my house, I can tear a hole in the ceiling or anything else I want to do. Those, it may be egregious, and so how do we handle that situation? So if you're a homeowner, you follow the laws apply to you. But if you're a renter, then the laws don't apply to you. How's that fair to the community?
I mean, number 2 says securely confined, which is indoors or outdoors. So just maybe only let them outdoors when they're being watched and humanely restrained. Because it sounds like I may be assuming some more than I should, but if they're escaping so much, it's not under the owner's supervision. Like maybe the owner be supervise and humanely restrain the dogs when outdoors, otherwise be securely confined indoors. I don't think the dogs are going to be able to escape an indoor, just being locked indoors. But again, that's not my call. That's the committee's call.
Other words, so your recommendation would be that we leave the dog away, so that condition could be placed. We name it as a nuisance and put that condition on it that it has. I mean, nobody expects a dog to stay in the house all the time, but ownership of the dog. If I you can't generally you rent as a part of your rental agreement determine whether or not you can even in fact have a dog, and you don't have a right to have a dog in property that you own as a renter. And
That's a privilege, not a right. Just like driving or anything, owning a dog. Yeah.
So we're going to hold homeowners responsible for creating an enclosure for a dog that is deemed dangerous and a risk to the community. But because you don't own the property, you don't have that same responsibility. That doesn't seem appropriate either.
I understand reading the mayor's office and city council with in conjunction with the committee can work to revise the ordinance, but we as needed.
And historically, fair or not,
It is the law.
this committee has ordered secure enclosures vetoed by people who could not meet that standard.
And by doing that, I would assume that that's our legal right to do, and it's an appropriate use of the law. Then what that does is it forces whether they ever build it or not, it puts them on notice.
And owner.
And the owner of the property on notice. So my inclination would be to deem the dog dangerous, require or amend this amendment as TJ was requested. Vote for the amendment to be amended or the change to be made. So that if whether they ever build the enclosure or not, at least is they're obligated to legally build it, which then eliminates if some other dogs continue to get out, and we can actually build a little more egregious.
My only other recommendation would be like the dogs cannot be outside unattended. Like you can't just leave these dogs. I mean, I don't know if they're escaping while people are actually watching them. That would seem
Unlikely.
But I mean, these dogs don't just run in their little neighborhood. They've been picked up on East Columbus Ave, on the highway, on 291, on Boston Road near Wilbraham Road. So they know the whole city. They run very far. So it is not like they're just roaming around their neighborhood and everyone knows atypically and okay. When they run, they're requiring the services of the police, sheriffs. animal control, Good Samaritans, so it's not just
They're public.
their public nuisance.
So
So
it's appropriate for me to make the amendment, motion to approve the amendment, the language that CGL requested.
Yes, because it's, because they didn't show up to the hearing, all you can do is, declare them dangerous and impound them. But because it's they're almost coming back because they already broke their orders. I don't see a problem with you amending it and saying and instead of or.
They've
for
been
their-
dangerous. But I think that we can amend the nuisance order and have it even, maybe even both, have it say, and build a secure enclosure and have them
Well, that's-
leashed in their own yard.
Yeah, and that's simply, TGL just simply asked for the amendment of language, so at this point, I make a motion to amend the language as appropriate, as requested by TGL. Is that okay? Sujat?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. That's fine.
So just so I'll try to understand, the motion is to change your word amendment to the previous condition. Strike out the word or and have and,
Yes.
yes, right. So it will be inserted between indoors and confined outdoors. I have conditions here. I'm sorry.
I think it should be they be confined. Securely confined indoors or outdoors. And constructs.
Right, so that's all I'm saying, to strike out or and insert.
Yes,
And we don't have to get into the weeds of it.
Yeah.
All we're asking for changing one word.
Yes, one word, or.
We change the word TGL satisfied, and we'll come back if
Yes.
they have any problems.
Correct. So the motion on the floor is to amend condition number 1. Change the word or and replace it with and. By Council Edwards, we need a second.
Second.
On the motion. Edwards,
Yes.
yes, that's the motion.
Yes.
Yes, Rolando,
Yes.
yes, for Johns,
yes,
and yes, Camilla. Motion passed. I have item number 8. The Davis dog care for dog in Cuban at 67 Falls Park, owned by Maya Gaskin, and it was requested by Adrian. Adrian? Adrian. I'm Adrian. Sit, please.
The owners.
And Maya. I can't remember her name. Yeah.
Well, we don't have a lot of experience or history with this dog. The history we do have is pretty egregious. The hearing was requested after on July 20th. The dog was loose. And I'm not sure it is on video that was shared with the committee.
I did.
So the dogs escaped the yard. It looked like both dogs escaped the yard, and the dog named Cuban attacked a Chihuahua owned by this company. Who it's a construct.
Yeah.
So the dog experienced severe injuries. Medical treatment was provided at Dash. And unfortunately, the dog did still succumb to her injury. The previous incident we actually have on file was in April of the previous year, the dog keeping was loose. And a woman was walking her dog and in an attempt to protect her dog and avoid any kind of injury, the woman fell and actually fractured her patella. So it does show some level of habitual behavior.
Thank you, TJ.
I wasn't walking the dog that day because I just had a meeting, but Glenn was walking the dog. And I didn't, yeah, let's see. So I didn't let him.
You guys have 10 minutes to speak your case. Well, I was walking the dog.
Can you say your name, please?
Glenn Edmonds.
Thank you.
I was walking the dog. The was off the beach. Oh, he got nowhere. And then all of a sudden, with my dog, I had to grab the dog. And then after that, the dog went home and everything.
Anything?
The only thing, I'm not asking for the dog that do not, in trouble. The one that, the reason why my dog had to be put down, I'm asking for that dog to be with me. Because that was, and me and my dad have talked about it. He had said that dog was the potential. And, you know, the fur baby was like a kid. You know, so I've been with Zoe almost 12 years.
So, yeah, Cuban has gotten out the first incident. He didn't try to attack the other dog. The person that actually got him that incident to my door and said he just doesn't know his size. And then I handled that. As for Miss Cuffy, we did talk about a lot of stuff. We handled a lot of stuff moving forward. I've already contacted people to put a back door in my house, so they have no access to the driveway to potentially breach any fence. I actually just recently put up a 6-foot wooden fence around my entire yard. As for now, I'm walking him to and from the front to the backyard on a leash. He has not been off my property. And I'm trying every step to rehabilitate, fix the incidents that have occurred. They were a year apart. Not saying that's an excuse, but I have been making steps and effort to fix the situation on their end and for my own self, so I can keep my dog in my house and move forward in the safest and best way possible.
Maybe both. You have to put that.
You have anything from me? Okay. Anything else?
Secure and closed driving. Leashed and mobile on the property.
Also, something to consider is requiring that the property owner or the dog owner obtain insurance for the dog up to $100,000 in case it, attacks another dog or attacks another person. If a person gets attacked and the person doesn't have any assets, then the person who got attacked has to bear the full expense of all the medical bills, or like if the dog gets attacked, the vet bills, if the person is uncollectible. I think it would give people a peace of mind if they know if the dog does attack again, but whether it be a person or a dog, that they'll be able, the victim will be able to be whole again. In terms of be whole again, it's all about money. You can't, that's how you're whole again. So they can get your medical bills paid for or vet bills paid for. That's also an option for everybody, every hearing. But in this particular case, I believe it may be considered.
Because I know anybody who's had the dog bit or had been harmed by somebody else's animal, they can go for considerable litigation. Very familiar with that as well. But in terms of understanding from years past, and of course, we're trying to tighten up this ordinance as we move forward, was that the city was named as on the insurance policy for dogs. And it was at $100,000. Is the figure that you just described at 200 actual? And the second question being, does the city get named as a it's somehow connected to the policy as for the insurance? Or am I missing on that part?
Yeah, no, the insurance would just be for the dog and the for the dog and the person. But so basically, the big issue is if you get bit by a dog and you sue the person is uncollect, you need to be able to collect from them. If they don't have any assets, you can't attach anything, then you're just SOL.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, I'm very, yeah, I have a lien, I have a $60,000 lien on the property in Springfield for a dog. So I understand how that works, but that was done through civil litigation. But I'm asking is the amount that you just mentioned was $200,000.
Yeah, that's the standard amount that I see on the statute.
My statute is at the accurate amount. Secondly, in years past, when we did, I'm 15 years into the hearing. That's how long we've been doing these. But originally, we used to state that the city had to be named on the policy as a part. Is that accurate or not accurate?
I am that I can't answer right now. I can look into it, but I don't have that answer for you right now, unfortunately, Melvin.
Yes.
So historically, it was $100,000 liability insurance with the city named, because if they get the insurance and cancel the plan, they could pay insurance for a day and then just cancel it.
Right.
That's what I understood. That's why it wasn't. But if you're saying, so that's what the accuracy in terms of the amount, which for many years that I've done this, it was $100,000 and the city was named as the policy on the policy as well.
Okay, then that sounds like that sounds like the standard language. Then per the statute, then yes, that would be that would just be a recommendation throughout for almost every dangerous dog who attacks another dog or a person. That'd be my recommendation moving forward. That again, so they can be whole again.
Right, it's one of the conditions that we can put in place, but I mean, the most egregious thing we can do is we can have the dog euthanized.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing to do when we're trying to mitigate not having to kill somebody's animal. We try to find that sweet spot in the middle, and as you said, so that somebody's not SOL. They absolutely can have something to do, and they don't necessarily have to go to litigation. So, I guess you have any other conditions other than what shall we do this? Should we just be the nuisance or dangerous, and then we work on the conditions after that? Is that appropriate?
Yeah. I mean, I think so, but that again, that's the committee's decision. Appropriate. So.
To be the dog dangerous, because this is the first time they've ever watched TJ.
I'll make the motion we deem the dog dangerous.
On the motion to deem the dog dangerous. Okay, right.
Yeah.
After Roseman,
Yes.
for Laundry,
Yes.
yes, for Johns,
yes,
dangerous, oh, yes. Motion passed. Conditions,
PTO.
So we had secure enclosure. Muzzle, sorry, that phone call completely different. muzzled when, like when walked off leash,
And
muzzled when walked off property. $100,000 liability insurance, naming the city as a policy holder. And then just a license for the dog, which is, for the dangerous dog, $100 per year. For.
neutered or not neutered?
He's neutered, yeah.
Yeah, he is, they're both stated neutered. So.
On the promotion to accept the proposed conditions, TJ Code has stated.
On the motion. To have a security enclosure, the dog being walked while off property. $100,000 on insurance policy, and the city is listed as the owner. And then $100 registration fee, everything for the leash and my.
Can you add that if that the owner provides such policy to the committee as proof that it was that they got it?
Yes.
Is there a time frame for that or expectation of time?
I think the appeals process is 21 days, so give them 21 days. So if they're not happy with the decision, they can appeal it. Otherwise, once the 21-day appeal time frame is over, then that'll give them,
I need that to be here, but thank you very much for your patience. Good luck.
And I'm gonna make the motion. I agree.
Actually, he's the pretty.
I'm the motion, Council Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Officer Roseman,
Yes.
for Laundry,
Yes.
Camille, yes, for Johnson.
Yes. Yes.
Motion passed. Item number 9, we have a dangerous dog here for a dog named Coco at 45 Redford Drive, owned by Alexander Andion, and it was requested by Jamie Rankin. You said dog, correction, you said dog, Gary.
The plaintiff is young plaintiff. Yeah, you plaintiff. You
Are you Alexander?
So
Are you Alexander?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
He's the plaintiff.
yes. Jamie Rankin,
Not here.
Um,
Yeah, it's right. Correct.
yeah.
So Coco is a, frequently loose husky, who resides at, 45 Redford Drive. We have confirmed either via officer response impound or photos from the complainant. Coco has been loose on September 30th, 2023, April 29th, 2024, June 15th, 16th, and 17th of 2024, June 24th, 2024, June 30th, 2024, July 6th, 2024, and July 13th, 2024. It seems as though she's been a little bit more compliant because we were made aware of the frequent use.
Can you hear what I'm saying?
So,
But just Coco's been loose one,
well, number use. Yeah.
9.
That's a lot. Escape night of
Yeah.
Six.
You know,
in the cage.
are you the owner? You're not the owner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's all in from X. Changes to each great thing with the night. Right, I say it's inside on it. Alright. Well, they haven't been. Oh, I'll be here, but he does.
Yeah, maybe I say. It's just like every time I come out to figure some way to get them doors. The cage, I built him like a wood cage. And he made holes in it and break them with the mouth. Even the cage I got him, he made a big like hole like biting in it just to try to get out. I have to have him with me. I thought the whole time for him to figure it out and at the time he was like any way to get out. And we stable, just mostly stay like on property, our property. They just sit down on the driveway until we go out, thinking about people that you would probably always feel it's a way like to get out. It's a well, it would be like big holes, like big, like a lot of stuff.
Okay. Thank you. PJ?
Obviously.
Maybe the rest of them, yeah, it's.
Is it on?
I even have a video that he's trying to climb the cage. Like he put his two hands and then he put like his leg like a human being, like trying to climb it. And it is really.
Well, first, we can just make a motion to be a nuisance and then listen to some suggestions from TGL recommendations. If that seems appropriate. We should be, I know it's like pretty flyer.
Okay, motion to deem the dog a nuisance, Council Edwards.
Yes.
Council Roseman,
Yes.
What Landry,
Yes.
Leo, yes. Or Johns,
yes,
motion passed. Conditions,
Are you the property owner? You own your home?
No,
Right.
no, I'm living with my family like
So the,
so it's like we are two way on paper like including the owner property owner.
I mean, my recommendation would be to build a kennel. With like a secure kennel, just
I just thought like I don't want like it's like all the way around, so.
and then put it
It's
on,
all-
try to put it on a concrete pad. so
Yeah,
you cannot-
I already did that.
So then we would just, if that's what you're doing, once they're, how long do you have to complete it?
I'll say maybe weeks, or maybe a week, not even that long, because I'll be there like the concrete floor in this video. The first one that I bought the cage, like the cage, metal cage.
So, when you're done, just reach out so we can come out and look at it to make sure that it is secure. And then. You know, as long as that's able, you know, obviously leash when he's not in that kennel, but then if he's out in the kennel. You know, we can make sure that's secure and, you know, adequate or,
Okay.
okay?
And as a point, just understand that they, you're obligated to do the best that you can, or even beyond the best that you can, you're obligated to actually keep the dog under control. And the importance of that is that regardless of the dog, like somebody not, dog is loose. Everybody doesn't know how friendly he is.
Yeah,
How
because
nice
I'll
he is.
speak to so we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like,
And the thing is like, you heard earlier, somebody fell, the dog didn't tackle, but they fell. So you can put your dog when he's free and loose, he puts other people at risk, because they have to respond to something like that.
I love my job. But it's like, it would look like crazy me, man, when he just a big baby. Yes.
so the motion on the floor is for secure enclosure and for you to notify TGL once the fence is completed.
Yep.
And leash went off. When letting kennel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Edwards.
Yes.
Roseman,
Yes.
What Landry,
Yes.
and Mary, yes, and what Johns.
yes.
Motion passed. Okay.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
dog when I come on 11:45.
EJO.
EJO, well, it'll be in your notes. It'll be in your notice, animal control.
Okay, then I'm gonna send you the note saying notice of the new information conditions. And then once your kennel is done within 2 weeks, you're gonna contact them, just get the kennel and approve what you said. All right, that's all right. Thank you. Thank you.
Sign on the agenda. Item number 10 is the dangerous dog named Charlie at 66 Lakewood Terrace, owned by Abdul Papa. And it was requested by Joshua and it's.
Thank you very much for your patience.
So it's actually 3 dogs, Charlie, Asia, and Brenda, right? Asia
Yeah, indeed,
and.
DJ. My dogs are well known around.
So this was initiated after, Charlie, Asia, and Brenda escaped the yard and attacked a dog and a human. It was basically, it was 4 big dogs, because the dog itself, the victim was also big. So nobody knows which dog bit the human and which dogs bit each other. We do have a large amount of history with the dogs escaping the yard. You know what, I've met Charlie on a number of occasions. So, but our history also goes back several years, so it's, you know, 2021, 2022, they were loose a lot, and then it had been pretty good for, we didn't have any calls for the whole year 2023. So I don't know if something has changed or how they're getting out now. They were doing good for a while. This is the only bite incident any of the dogs have ever had. And it hasn't always been the same. It's running so. It hasn't always been the same dogs, so you know, like I said, it's the only bite incident that we've had. I don't know the severity of the bite that occurred. You know, obviously a bite did occur, but I just don't know which one it was. It stitches, what it. I'm sure we'll guys. And obviously the victim not here. I cannot find that information.
And could the committee also keep in mind the insurance option, because if it's attacked before, it's been loose before. There's also the, you know, the threat it can be loose and attack another dog or a person again. I'm not saying you guys should require it. I'm just saying you guys should consider it, as just like you did the last person who had a history of dog attacks. Nothing further from me. Thank you.
That's that incident. First of all, I've been having South African Masters about 15, 16 years at that property. And about the house burnt down and then on Locust Street. So I notified all the tenants and got them out. So they turned it to a 6 unit. It was a 3 unit. So when it's a 6 unit, well, what happened is they turned it into a shelter. So now I'm dealing with different personality of every 2 months, 3 months, people throwing bones in my yard. So it's so much stuff that my dogs are going through. So they just dig in the yard or ripping it off. They're friendly dogs, so they come to the person that feeds them. So when them people moved out in this last tenant that the last person that this incident happened, she just moved out. She was only there for a year, about a month and a half, and no one ever had dogs. So my dogs would get out. It's an open lot right there, so they get out and go there because when I walk them, that's the spot that they go to and play around. So when they go under my yard, that's the open lot. So they get out. I don't know if them tenant saw my dog there and said, "Oh, let's bring our dogs there." So that incident happened. The police came, animal control came, and I was there. Nothing happened to none of the human beings. that she had a scratch from the dog, like the paws. That it was a straight scratch. These are big dogs, they bite you, that's not who they are. And the whole neighborhood would speak of them because everyone knows them, they're very friendly dogs. The police even brought them out, brought them back. Like when they get out, they're like, come, they'll bring them back or all this stuff. So these tenants, they suing me, so they're the first ones. The whole building lost my dog's place with my dogs. The other dogs plays with my dogs. It's just their dogs. Since they got there, their dogs walks at my dogs. My dogs are a lot bigger than them. Like, hey, I've been here. Their dogs are big too. They like Alaska Malibus or whatever. So they always yapping. So I know my dog probably went there, smacking like I mean, because they must have saw my dogs loose in the yard, the open lot yard. That's why I'm wrong for it. Okay, but they brought their dog down because they're on the second floor. They can see him, try to make a case. Say, hey, oh, his dogs are loose. Let's bring my dogs out. So that's what happened. And then I was there. So then she called the ambulance. Her daughter got in the ambulance. The mother got in the ambulance. I was like, oh, they trying to make a fraud. They trying to make a case because none of that incident came up to that. So now they're looking for ways to get money. So I got a lawsuit case. I got the lawyers called. My dogs always being very friendly. They would get out, they didn't come home. The police would be like, hey, we know you didn't want to do nothing. The dogs are so smart that they would come back to the house. And Jay O'Connor is very, even he can speak of my dogs that they're well mannered. They don't have no aggression, good temperament, and they're aware of my dogs.
How are the dogs?
Excuse me.
How are the dogs getting out?
Well, when it rains, okay, it's a regular metal fence, the chain fence. Then I put a wooden fence 6 feet. But these dogs are very athletic, so it's a tree right here next to the fence. So they scale that and get over the 6-foot fence. They're very athletic and they're big too.
Yeah, so it's.
Yeah, so they're very athletic dog. They're very smart. Like they'll hold the door knob, open it, close the door. They're from Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're guard dogs. They're very smart. They don't bother nobody. They like their dogs started problems with my dog, but my dog do. My dogs have no aggressions, very low temperament. They're very good dogs. Everyone so far that I got in contact with them would speak of them like that they're very nice dogs. And I've been there over 15 years. It's my first incident.
Thank you, sir. Video.
You,
Charlie,
you own,
Charlie, yeah.
you own the property?
I'm the manager of the property. I'm legal volunteer owns it, a friend of mine.
He let you put a secure enclosure in the property or?
Yeah, it's already done. I'm just gonna do the front. On the front is the next thing I'm building. I already did the platform for the dog kennels. So I'm building I don't know if it's gabion. It's with rocks, so I make the rocks catch with no cement. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm making the dog kennel with the rocks and stuff. So
It'll be fenced in.
right, so like that's their house, but the whole yard would be fenced in too. So if they even break out of there, they got the yard that they need to break out of. So those are the things. If you notice, the wooden fence is from Locust, you can't see my yard no more. Because I put a whole wooden fence, so it's 2 fences, the metal fence and the wooden fence.
How big is the enclosure you're building?
The whole thing, all around, the whole house, just around it so they can't get out.
Actually, it's nice to hear somebody take responsibility, which it sounds like he's doing, he's taking responsibility, it sounds like he's trying to be proactive in dealing with things. You have your recommendations.
I would recommend, that we will come out and check the kennel to make sure it's adequate. And then the $100,000 liability just to cover you and also the city.
Okay, so. Yeah, yes, that's the only thing with that. So, but it's how, he can do it, but the mandate of it to be required for us to deem the dog. So my main inclination is to, it seems like you guys have a pretty good working relationship. It goes back many years, but he's always responsive. Can we do a without, continuation without finding and, or put it, or at least.
So the continuation.
A continuation, so that in a month from now, we can come back, he's had time to put things in place, and you're coming back with a recommendation. He's not compliant, he's not doing what he said he's gonna do, then we deem the dog dangerous and the conditions.
Yes, if y'all did.
Is that palatable to Veronica? Is that be okay with you?
I just want to know one thing about if the dogs are spayed and neutered.
They're not spaded, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, you have 3 dogs, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the law on that, Renee?
He can have 3 dogs.
But not neutered? Aren't they supposed, it's over 3?
You can have a fourth. You can have a fourth
Okay,
that's
all right.
neutered.
All right,
But that is a good observation, seeing how the dogs escape a lot.
Yeah,
An
that's-
unneutered or unspaded dog that's escaped is asking for trouble.
yes. Yeah, so I'm kind of leaning toward to requiring that, asking that they be spayed and neutered to eliminate that problem. I'm reluctant to say dangerous because we don't have an identified dog out of the 3 as the biter, but they're definitely a nuisance.
Well, they are also dangerous if they attacked. I mean,
Well, but what's the attack?
all three of them attacked one dog. All 3 of them attacked a dog and a human. So they, as a group,
Which dog? No, we don't, yeah, we don't have any idea which dog actually bit, if there wasn't.
Yeah, to that, we don't have the person that was harmed to give any testimony.
It could be their dog that gets scratched.
Right.
That's why I'm leaning toward, just a continuation, a 30-day continuation, see that they have, because the thing we can
can't order anything unless they're deemed a nuisance at a minimum. So
we can deem them news, well, the thing is to name them dangerous, we don't have enough evidence to deem them dangerous.
Right.
Because lack of testimony, we do deem the dogs dangerous. The conditions that we would put on him would be what he's trying to do now.
Yeah.
Minus the insurance policy, and I guess to mandate an insurance policy would have to, right now, it's be a recommendation. If we were just to continue, we would be with the condition, that would be a recommendation, but it's not mandated unless we deem the dog dangerous.
or a nuisance.
Or
You can be deemed a nuisance and you can have conditions on them or on them, because it's multiple dogs.
well, it's your thoughts, or even Mr. Rose, either you.
Continuation.
Yeah, I agree.
This was the first time in over a year that there was any issue with them getting out even.
Yeah, you had a good point of just going a month to see if you made the changes.
These are very large dogs. I don't know if you're familiar with.
What is the issue between ordering them a nuisance? They are a nuisance. They've escaped multiple times in the past. You can order them a nuisance and then require that the order, whatever you want to conditions on them. Otherwise, you're just hoping that he does what he says. And they are big dogs, as Veronica mentioned. But that's enough from the attorney. I'll let you guys do whatever you guys got to do.
I'm not opposed to it if it's, for legalese, if it's easier just to be the dog nuisance with the same conditions that he suggested, which is what I think Attorney Shushak is suggesting. I'm okay with that as well. The point is that I'm not ready to deem the dog dangerous. And the thing is it's whatever we were asking in terms of what he's trying to do. I'm just saying he gets the 30 days to try to get it done. So I'm okay with the nuisance. I won't make the motion, but if you guys, any of the other board members are comfortable making that motion, I'm okay with it as well.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that the dogs be deemed, all the dogs be deemed a nuisance based on the frequency. And even if they haven't been out in loose as frequent as some other dogs we hear about, they're out. They're scary. Whether they're vicious or not, that's not the point. These dogs come running at you and they may want to play, but somebody's going to have a heart attack. So they're a nuisance being out loose.
A question, Mr. Toba.
Yes.
How long will it take you to complete the fencing?
The fence in the front. Right now, it's already complete. It's the kennels that I have to finish up.
How long will it take you to complete?
Finish the kennel,
30 days. You could be compliant within 30 days.
30 days, just I'll try my best.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, I do it in my best. Have to be.
So would it be fair to say, can we deem the dog as dangerous and for him?
A nuisance.
I'm sorry.
Nuisance.
Nuisance. TJO to go
Use the
on.
D word.
I'm sorry, is it okay for us to deem the dog as a nuisance and have TJO go out to make sure that it's secure and the kind of.
Yeah, it could be one of the conditions.
Yes. Because it seems like he's trying to do everything else.
Yeah. I'm okay with this.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to deem the dog a nuisance.
No, Veronica made a motion.
Oh, she did, oh, I'm sorry.
You can second the
You
motion.
second it?
I'll second it,
There we go.
And you're not obligated to vote yay. But you already, I don't know. But,
Now it's a roll call vote, right?
Yes.
Okay.
On the motion, Councilor Edwards.
yes.
Officer Roseman,
Yes.
Ward Laundry,
Yes.
Camille, yes, Ward Johns,
Yes.
motions passed on the conditions, condition.
Kennel, as described, and follow up. Insurance policy, yes, no, recommendation or mandate.
I mean, it's probably,
As the property, insurance goes to it.
That's what we're discussing now.
Right, because that's what they're going after. They're suing me right now, litigation on that issue that I had to go higher on.
Okay, then you probably should then we should
Yeah.
have the insurance as a part of it. The thing is, but whatever they do with that, that's not for the city, they're not involved with that, or that's, you have to handle that on your own.
Sure.
But you do still have the dogs, and this will be required. You're seeking the insurance policy to indemnify yourself, that'll protect you for the future. And it won't help you with what's already
Yeah, well, my statement, what I'm trying to say is with the property insurance policy, we'll work with that, which you asking for, because it's already covered in property insurance.
So you're saying that the house, the owner of the property already has homeowners insurance that covers the dog.
Yeah.
The documentation just saying, documentation, the detail, but it will be a condition, let's put it as a condition.
I mean, I'll be honest, most people are very hard,
Hard, yes,
it's a very hard time to get that,
yes, they're very difficult. But,
hard to get your regular insurance.
I know, right?
okay, well, we can put it in there, and then you send documentation, which you have there. And as far as the civil litigation, that's the risk we have, we are dogs.
Right.
So,
I'd also like to see the dog spayed and neutered. And we've had those conditions in the past.
I'm not for nuisance, that's something we could do for a dangerous dog.
No, you can do it for
No,
nuisance.
no,
You can do it
we've
for
done it
nuisance. You can definitely do it for nuisance.
Yes, we have.
You can make the motion on that, I won't support that, but you can make the motion, and if the board votes for it, that's fine.
And ma'am.
Yes.
It's very bad for their health. Okay,
I don't, you don't have to, I'm not gonna, the thing is, I don't wanna get into, I would not be comfortable with having an argument about back and forth on. You can make the motion to do it, or to make that, and if the board votes for it, that's fine, yeah, but I don't wanna get into an argument between whether that's appropriate or not. Health-wise, and I understand what you're gonna say. You know, we've been doing this long enough that I know what you're saying and how you feel about it. But also, you know,
Well, how would that break down for a separate? I'm just recommending, because we're doing the recommendations for what needs to be done. So and as an addition to the enclosure, neutering and spaying the dog will,
All three.
okay, all right.
We got
But,
three dogs,
so we're gonna incorporate it all together.
and you don't even know the harm. You don't know which one did it, because we don't have any
Right,
tests.
right. But if they're not fixed, counselor, they're more apt to be roaming.
I knew, like I said, I already said, I said a second ago,
Yeah.
I already know what you're going to say. I'm just
Yeah.
not, I'm not comfortable. And in certain circumstances, I would be very supportive of
I
that.
would say we make the motion and vote on it, and then we can deal with that. You guys can talk about that later.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, make a motion if you choose. I can vote the way I want. They vote how you get the majority, then that's what's imposed.
It's not required to put under $4, right?
Right,
Well,
he is not required.
no, it's not required. Unless we mandate it. We can mandate it, but it's not, that's the thing. She leans toward that they should be neutered. In this particular case, in certain cases, I would be supportive. In this particular case, I got 3 dogs that are gonna go through a surgery for something that at least 2 of them may not, or all 3 of them may not have been the person the one that even caused any harm.
Right.
We don't know enough of that. There was no testimony driven to say what the circumstances of the situation. Just by definition, if the dogs were our property, then they could be deemed as a nuisance. But we don't know whether somebody brought their dog to these 3 dogs. If their dog was the aggressor, we have no testimony or any of that. And, the most egregious thing we can do is to euthanize somebody's dog. But on the scale of harm to the planet of conditions, the next lowest thing on there would be the neutered dog, which I guess, is, and, we're not talking puppies here, we're talking fully grown dogs. So, neutering my puppies, which is my choice to do when I get dogs, most of them are all neutered and stuff, they were done as babies, or as soon as I got them, but they're all rescues. But, I mean, 65 years old, I mean, you neutered me now, you guys got away with it when I was a kid.
So Board Johns, are you making a motion to have the dogs,
Yes.
3
Yes,
dogs?
I would like to make a motion to add it to the recommendations, the guidelines for the dogs as a nuisance.
Roll call that, take a look at this one. Yeah. Camille. Your motion fails for lack of a second. So we can vote for the conditions as stated earlier.
Okay, so what is the new motion? You gonna let it's secure enclosure and be leashed at all times when that went off the property?
Yeah, and the insurance.
And the insurance, okay. Just want to make sure that's on record and so when you guys vote, we know.
Yeah.
So the motion that's on the floor is a secure enclosure and TJO to go visits within
30 days.
30 days. Leashed when off
They
property.
should know about
I'm sorry, leash and muzzle. When off property and, to provide proof of the insurance policy that the dog is included under.
So we just write the insurance in and out with it. If he has it, then he brings proof that that's.
Okay, proof of insurance policy. Yeah. The conditions. On the conditions. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, yes, Camille Ward Johns,
Yes.
yes, and conditions approved.
Good helps from them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no more items on the agenda for today. Thank you, everyone.